But if you know, you know. It's an Aaron Glenn diff, to be honest. Austin, what are your thoughts on your team not being in the playoffs, but the Lions?
I
But
mean,
the Vikings are.
my team's in the playoffs. My second team is not, though.
Okay, fair enough. We still accept you as a Lions fan in Michigan, Austin. You're still welcome to the
Most of my
barbecue.
friends know that I'm a Lions fan first, but Cincinnati's the one that made the
But you take what you got.
Had to get them first, you know.
Listen, if we had the Cincinnati Bengals to root for, I'd be rooting for them too. But we don't. We have the Lions, and we will take the Lions as they are right now. And MCDC is my hero. Didn't I expect Lions defense to be the biggest step up from this game though? Early on, at least. But yeah, what have you guys been up to recently? I'll start it off.
You can start off. Yeah.
I haven't been doing much. I just been working, and we had my parents over today to drop off a bunch of meat because I got a smoker for Christmas, and so we basically filled our freezer with like a full cooler worth of like chuck roasts and like pork and ground beef and stuff, and that's gonna be exciting to do then. I don't know much about smoking. I have helped my dad smoke a little bit in terms of food, obviously, and yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do with it and mess around with it. So looking forward to smoking stuff. Outside of that, me and Austin both are going to be playing in USPA, which is the United States Pokemon Association. Me for Michigan and him for Ohio.
Let's go.
Austin making a super stacked Ohio team, which is crazy. Every single person except for one on that team, who's a buddy of ours, has made worlds. Which is
I'm
wild.
legitimately the worst person on the team.
Honestly, same though, maybe, but it's fun, and so I'm excited. I didn't expect to make the team, honestly, based off how my like tryouts and stuff went, but I have enough like overall performance, I think, to get me in there, which is fun, and we got a bunch of our buddies in there. In our Discord of friends, I think there's like 8 of us that made different USPA teams across like the different like states and stuff, so it's really cool. Like me, Austin, Doorstop, Parker, Aiden, Rishi, bunch of really cool players that I met and played with in the state and stuff. So it's really cool and exciting. There's one downside to it, and that means I have to play in this format, which is hit or miss for some people. Apparently, I clutch up in this format, but I do not like playing it very much. But oh, is that a safety? What about you, Austin? Kind of covered a little bit of your stuff, but
Yeah, like you said, I made Ohio's USPA team, but I've known that for a little bit. What else? What have I done? I've kind of just been messing around, just like seeing friends. Yesterday I drove up to Indianapolis for a Pokemon tournament because the format that John's talking about, and it starts tomorrow. And to celebrate the end of the current format, everyone decided to handshake on doing only middle stage evolutions. So you can only bring Pokemon that is the middle stage of a 3-stage evolution. And I like teched out some people. I was 2-1, and I was like, oh, if I win this next one, then I'm in the top cut and I get points with all these garbage mons. And then I play against the one person who didn't get the memo and had like an actual real ass team. And needless to say, I lost, but I still brought him to 3 games because I crit the shit out of one of his Pokemon.
because Austin's goated, bro. He's goated with the sauce. Austin almost beat me with a troll team. He shook hands with our buddy the other week. Still have trauma.
Yeah, I've been busy making an award show for the group of friends that John's fiance heralds. That's been very interesting, but yeah, nothing else besides that.
Someone who's not me has to go. I can go.
There's no reason for that. Do not read into it. Ignore the fact that I will not be looking at the main screen for a little bit.
So let me think. I've been working a lot. I started playing a funny little game called RuneScape. That's been interesting. I'm not playing old school RuneScape. I'm playing regular ass RuneScape, which is much better on quality of life things. I've been playing it for like 4 days, and I've already got like 55 and several different skills. It didn't take that long to do, so it's not bad. But also been on the Marvel Rivals kick still because that game is very fun. I finished how I attended an all guys mixer. No resolution whatsoever in that show.
Of course not. It's probably not done.
It is a currently ongoing manga.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, literally nothing. So, but
not like I expected anything.
No, nor should you. But it was a good time. It's a fun little show. I enjoyed it. That's been about it, I think. I have not been up to a whole lot just because I've been working a lot.
I was gonna say my attention's back, but Michael, you can go.
Oh, okay. So, I haven't been doing much different than I was last week. I'm still playing Minecraft.
That's
so
cool.
so my role in this thing, because I'm not one of those people who like can sit there and get different villagers for quite literally, checks notes, a week and a half. One person, that's all they did was just get different villagers for different trades. They have every single unique colored terracotta you can get. That requires, I think, with perfect luck, 30 different villagers, because they can sell any normal terracotta and any glazed terracotta. And it's all from the same level of trade. And it's not like they start with those trades. You have to level them to like level 4. Yeah, that's a thing. So
why are you friends with sociopaths?
That
aren't me. What?
But yes, I'm the collector. So I've finished the achievement for every dog variant, every cat variant. Cats is significantly easier because that doesn't require you to travel to different biomes. We have collected all but one type of armor trim.
What are you people?
And the only one we're missing is the rare one in Ancient Cities. That's like the really hard one to get. It's like a 1 in 100 to get it out of a chest. Ancient Cities don't spawn with 100 chests in them. This generally requires multiple Ancient Cities, which suck to traverse. # Warden's a good designed mob, we swear. But yeah, Minecraft's really fun. I've been like hanging out with friends and stuff like outside of that, because there's a lot of people I'm friends with are like in college, like finishing it right now.
Yep.
So they're all home right now. So
not anymore. They're probably literally gone as of today.
I think actually a lot of them are still here.
That's crazy.
For at least like a week or two. I don't know. Every school's different.
Yeah.
But yeah. I had to play a board game last night. I got to play Azul.
Azul's rad.
Azul's fucking awesome. That game's so good.
Excellent game.
Azul is rad. We played that on campus, Michael. You might not have been there for that one.
No, I definitely didn't. I haven't played.
That was with the library. That was the library event. The librarian brought Azul because based.
Yeah, and Azul's a really funny game because you just do some bullshit in round 1, then you start like figuring out the rules because this was for people who had never played the game. Then like round 4 comes along, I do like a 50-point turn as I'm just filling every slot to start filling things. It's crazy. This was a crazy game. Great time. Would recommend.
Great game.
Because we did a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, as we call it, which is going to Micro Center. Which I don't know if Micro Center exists in other states, but yeah, it's a computer store.
Yep.
We don't have one on my side of the state, but there's one on John's side of the state.
But yeah, we went to the Micro Center that's vaguely near us. And I didn't need any computer parts. We were literally going there so someone could get a new mouse. That was it. That was the actual reason we went there. And we went to the board game store, which was like Azul's like $40. I'll grab that. That I've heard this game's good. And here we are. But yeah.
Holy shit. Micro Center's great though. We love Micro Center.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm getting something for you guys real quick.
Don't worry.
And
On-
that's gonna
And
be
sports ball note, I just had a heart attack because the Lions threw a pick inside their own 20 and then still held them to a field goal because for some reason our defense is goated with the sauce tonight. You'll love to see it.
I mean, we need it.
We need
We
every
need
little
that
bit,
to
man.
happen.
We're getting bailed by the defense right now, bro. That pick was
There we go.
this is a weird feeling because usually when you watch the Lions, you're stressed out because you're like, how are they gonna blow it? In this case, you're like stressed out because you're like, they should win this. How are they gonna blow it?
Okay, cool. So one of the things I've been doing is TCG Pocket.
Okay, please.
As the group knows, I just wanted to get you guys these. These are my EXs and alt arts that I actively have right now.
Cute. I love that EV card so much.
Nice.
So that's what I'm working with. I showed you guys I had a pack where I pulled the Pikachu EX and the Zapdos EX.
The same like 10.
Yeah, and then and in that same 10 I also pulled the other art for the Pikachu EX.
I love that. I got one for you, Sean. In today's 2 free packs I got from when I woke up and then this evening, I pulled 2 full art executors.
Let's go.
Ooh, nice.
It's the same card,
Yeah.
but the Aggie lives on.
I need to check mine.
I've been doing. I do that while I'm at work because it's really easy to do that at work. I have not finished watching anything new. Anything that was on this season or anything I was watching for the season because I just have not had time yet. I will. It will happen. It's bound to happen. Real quick run. Let me think if there's anything I want to talk about. I said this to. I posted it in the group chat. Every week, Hope You're Happy Living gets closer to the Poly ending, and it's wonderful, it's beautiful, it's great. This week is by far the closest we've ever fucking been, where there's a moment where one of the characters goes, why is this a problem? which is really great. We're at that stage where it's like everybody...
I love her so
She's
much.
so good. Unfortunately, I'm so happy that, like, I'm not torn between the two girls in this manga. It's gotta be her,
Whoever
dude.
wins, it's a dub, bro. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
that's why the Poly ending's so good. They're
'Cause,
both
like,
they're
even
both
if, even
great.
if your pick loses, you're still winning.
I haven't talked about it lately, but Monochrome Days is still really good. That's the manga, the new like making manga.
Manga.
I really like that. Did I post when night oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. Let me get the name of it right. When Nightlight Hounds had its week off, did I post the art for it in our group chat?
Don't.
That
No.
would sound familiar.
Cool. I screenshotted this because god damn is this manga's art and character design really cool. They give us like these types of pages for its week off.
Yo.
She has been in like 2 chapters maybe. This is the werewolf vampire gangster manga. This shit rad.
Sean, why have you not told me
I
about
have
this
told you
before?
about.
No,
Eh,
you
This is such
have
a
not.
Mason
Did I-
coded fucking.
Did I mention that the main werewolf is a small little girl who speaks in very fragmented child English, and it's wonderful and beautiful. It's great. Mason, you would absolutely adore this manga. It has, let me check. It's
This is
every
like small child that brings hope to my life. Where has this manga been all my life?
it's every other week. It has 8 chapters. The main character's name is Jimmy. And so she calls him Jimmy. Jimmy. Gimi. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
It's adorable. Centuria this week was fucking insane, and by that I mean the author proved that he indeed was an assistant under Fujimoto, as he actively had a character go, you know, my goal in life was fucking my brother, and now that you've killed him, I guess you'll have to do.
Oh
Might truly be incredible. The amount of
Fujimoto.
I want you to know
incredible is the word I'd go with. for
I
that,
want
but
you
hey,
to
go
know
off, King.
that the 10 pages before this were all very meaningful and important, like character conversation, like between this cast of characters. Only for the chapter to end on that. Lovely. I'm trying to think if anything else particularly important. The Very Dragon chapter for today, absolutely incredible. That manga continues to be great. Things are happening in One Piece. Kagurabachi had an Akira slide and it was based as fuck.
Bro, that
Did I
panel
get One
was
Piece chapter
so
this week?
sick.
we
It
have One
was
Piece
so
chapter this week?
cool.
No, we have not had One Piece since before Christmas, right?
One just came out.
Oh shit, I didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that
It
one.
hasn't made the Discord yet.
It came out on January 3rd. It's chapter
Mason, my friends
1135.
are Mason, my friends are slacking. We gotta fix
Yeah, I
this.
know. What
What
the
the
fuck is
fuck?
Frank doing?
Frank.
It's chapter 1135. It's just more
That's fine.
because the
We're
last
good.
one you guys should have been the Saul chapter. Otherwise, are you two
Oh, no.
behind?
No,
Okay.
No, I think we saw the Saul, like post Saul.
we saw Saul.
Yeah,
They go
'cause
to the
the
library,
one-
right?
yes.
And that's where it cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This chapter is them in the library and some
No.
other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta watch some
Okay.
other stuff. Okay,
There
we
is
got-
indeed another
Mason, there's
chapter.
homework after the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
Ultimate Exorcist just did basically a hyperbolic time chamber training arc in 2 chapters, part of which involved playing ping pong. That manga is, I
Beast.
fucking love that manga, dude. Ishida Witch is really good still. That manga's art's fucking incredible. Shinobi Undercover also fucking rad as fuck
Shinobi
the past
Undercover
2
was
weeks, dude.
Based as fuck. This
Uh,
whole fight is sick
this-
as hell.
Perhaps it is okay that the manga is running very fucking. I would say maybe towing the line of just trying to drop one-liners every panel this week.
So
It sure is something. Hibaten very good. Hibaten is creating a structure of romance that I really like, which is main character does not love anyone else but his love interest, and we are developing a problem between every other woman on the planet. He has eyes for one person, and everybody else is like, but wait, you're perfect. And he goes, who are you people?
Why should I care about you?
We're
Yeah, I am anyway.
such
I
such
just-
good friends, he says as he cleans their house and makes them dinner.
I did start and caught up to Human. I mean, there's not that many chapters.
No,
No,
it's
like
at
21,
25.
25.
In the past like 3 days.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's so good.
I'm impressed that it is in Shonen Jump. I am worried because it's in Shonen Jump, but I think it's been doing well. I have no proof to back that up. I haven't looked at table of contents lately. Sid Craft is Sid Craft.
Still haven't caught up with it.
They certainly do a new story arc, and then at the end of the first chapter of it go, aha, this person has an accomplice. We'll have to find them, and then actively shows you who it is. There is no mystery in this. This is not the point of this manga. Elusive Samurai has written out a character of its manga this week.
Womp womp.
It's done the thing that it does, where it goes, and this is the last battle this character will participate in for our story. They are done. Goodbye. Because this is their last major battle in, historic record. So it's this is the last time you will see them. They will go on and they will die here after this many years.
The end.
It's very odd. This is my favorite of these because what they've done with this character has been so well done throughout the course of the 186 chapters of the manga. But it also really makes you go, damn, I kind of wish you,
Didn't do that.
I kind of wish,
I wanted more.
I think it's doing its job where it's wow, that's very anticlimactic and really historical. Damn, how unfortunate. There is they drop a really cool fact about the character, which is that, largely, they aren't talked about in history, which is crazy, given some of the context that we have for them in the story. It's neat. Definitely probably my favorite, well, definitely up there as like some of my favorite things that the manga has done with its cast. I think, Hakutaku. Yeah.
Hakutaku's wild.
I really, really like what we're doing right now. I am worried for this manga, however, that I don't know. This is the manga that I think probably has the least staying power right now in Shonen Jump,
Yeah.
because from what I've heard, a lot of people are not into it. Because the people who want to be into it don't think there's enough video game, like, jargon, like, tech development talk. Like, they don't think it goes deep enough. Which I don't know what the fuck do you want to be? Fucking Cypher Academy? Calm down. There's a we can only go so far in a direction of being made for a very particular audience, I feel like. Kill Blue has introduced the character. I could say that for a lot of Kill Blue, but
I'm like very behind on a lot of things.
yeah, you probably have to get through the entire home ec war arc.
Probably.
Yeah, the school festival arc. Kaiju number 8 had a chapter.
I did it. Oh,
And by
it
that I
did.
meant,
Oh, it had an extra
by that
chapter.
I meant it had an extra chapter. We got art, baby. There's some good art in there.
It was some good art.
Some cute art.
Perhaps one of the greatest chapters of all time released of any manga ever, Shiba Inu Rooms. Continues to be a goated fucking manga. World's Greatest Romance chapter dropped this month. A couple of days
My
ago.
fam also had a great chapter this week.
Oh.
What?
Outside of that, I celebrated New Year's with some friends. We did a murder mystery board game. That was neat and fun. I got very close to getting things exactly as they were. There were a couple of things we missed, but we learned we got the important stuff, like who did it, why, most of the how. So that was fun, and I got a little upset. I got a little upset because we were playing a trivia game. And and Dylan looked me dead in the eyes and he said, "Sean, you're not allowed to pick up that WWE wrestling trivia card. I'm not allowing you to pick that card." And I go, "But Dylan, wouldn't it be really funny if in a game that allows you to pick teammates to help you answer trivia, you let me pick that trivia card, and I do it on my own, and I beat everybody else in the room at it?" He goes, "Yeah, Sean, you would." And so when we were done playing trivia, I went, "Will you humor me? And we'll read the card out loud." And he goes, "Sean, no one in this fucking room knows any of this shit." And I went, "You should probably know 3 of the 5 answers on that card." They knew 2 of them. They knew 2 of them, and I had to help them get the one. That trivia card, for what it's worth, gives you wrestlers' nicknames, like their monikers, and you have to give their name for who it is.
That's not that hard.
No, it's not. But apparently they don't know enough. The one they got is the first one because it's the most obvious one. We're gonna play this game right now because I remember what all 5 of them are off the top of my head, because of course I do. John, I don't know if you're muted on purpose.
I don't know the shit of these, by the way.
Oh,
But
you
yes,
know, this one. Stone Cold.
Steve Austin.
Yeah.
I know that one.
This is the one I had to help them. The Viper.
That one I don't know.
Is that
Does
Roddy Piper?
it help you if I tell you that they're the person who does the RKO?
Oh, fuck.
Wait, Randy Orton's the RKO.
Randy-
Yeah, the Viper, Randy Orton.
Oh.
Okay.
And this is one of the ones I knew they weren't gonna get. Mason might know. I don't know how much Mason knows old wrestling. The Brain.
Is that Oh fuck.
This
Oh,
is
never
like
mind.
old. Bobby Heenan, very
Okay.
very old. Famous manager.
Very old brain.
Also, most likely one you don't know, because it's a female wrestler. The Glamazon.
I've heard
I
it before,
know
but I don't
I've
know
heard
why.
that nickname before. I just don't remember.
This is Beth Phoenix. And then the last one, which I cannot express to you my disappointment, the Heartbreak Kid.
I've heard that. I
Of
just
course,
don't.
Michael, yes,
It's
you
probably 'cause I
have.
lived with you. That's absolutely a thing I know I've heard, but
I feel like it's someone who turned into a heel.
Yes,
I'm trying to remember.
I would argue they were a heel for most of their career. Probably.
I don't.
That is Shawn Michaels.
Oh, it is Shawn.
Yes, the Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the tiebreaker question was, how many times was Hulk Hogan the WWE champion? And Dylan guessed this number right, which is the most insane thing about it. Because I couldn't fucking tell you the answer to this, because
13.
I think it was 6 at the time. I think it was
I
either
was
6 or
close.
8 at the time of that card being made. And I don't think it changed since the time that card was made. Yeah, if you didn't know, this might be the first time this has ever come up on the podcast. I'm an incredibly massive wrestling nerd, predominantly focused on the major U.S. promotions. Once you start leaving the U.S. promotions, I don't know that shit as well. I know what the names of the other promotions are. It's why I fucking lost my shit when I found out that, like, Katakawa, was it Katakawa? No, it was fucking Bushiroad, I think. Bushiroad, like, owns portions of Japanese wrestling companies.
Yeah, it's Bushiroad.
Yeah, it's like, why? Why Bushiroad? I don't understand. But I think
Schwartz, The
Vash-
Undertaker.
no, none of those. That would be crazy. But yeah, I think that is largely it for me. I have a new headset that literally came in today. Because my old headset was here. I can show you.
Finish.
There you go. Perfect. Did you see it? It fell.
I see.
And I was getting quite tired of fixing that every time I took my headset off. I'm trying to think if there's anything else quick news-wise or anything that has happened that we need to run through. I do not think so. And that means that it's time for the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are an anime podcast first and foremost, despite what the past 28 minutes has shown you. And with that in mind, we are also at the end of the season for fall 2024. That's right, if you've just found this channel right now, crazy. We are going to talk about our final 3 shows, Dandadan, Blue Box, and Orb. We are going to particularly talk about the 12 episodes, all 12, that are out for Dandadan. That is where its season ended. We are going to talk about the 12 episodes for Blue Box. There are more than that right now, but we're talking about 12 because that is where its seasonal cutoff was. And we're going to talk about the 14 episodes of Orb, and you might think to yourself, that's unfair. Why does it get 14? And we will go, there were 14 out, and it damn sure wants you to watch through the 14 of them. It certainly does feel like the only clean stopping portion, kind of that show.
hey, what's 13 and a half episodes actually?
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
realistically, that's you could argue that's like maybe a better cutoff because that like leaves you in a clean spot for like, and then other shit starts to happening.
sure. I
But
think just
ending of
watching.
episode's stupid.
That was all that was out until like Friday.
I think it might still be all that's out. I don't think anything else is out yet for Orb.
It is
Right.
because I watched all of it today.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and if you're wondering how did we come to this decision, Austin watched it and went, we should probably watch the 14, yeah. He went,
I was watching it on New Year's because I was like killing some time. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll watch another one. It's like, another one? Sure.
no, I guess I gotta, he went, I really have to watch another one. No, this is, for what it is worth, I will say for me, and we'll get into this, this is definitely the right place to have stopped for Orb. It also, I don't think, largely changes anything for me if we had stopped a little. There is, I think, one major thing you get out of episodes 13 and 14 that you would not have if you stopped at 12.
Yes, I agree.
Mhm.
Which I think is,
Which we'll get to.
yeah. And we'll see if we have similar opinions about what that one thing is you get out of it. But yeah. So
I
we're
want to
gonna,
turn away from the screen content as we got out of it, in my opinion. But
well,
Yeah.
I want you to know that I watched 2 of these episodes while eating at different points in the day.
Oh no.
yeah, I was eating too while I was watching it a little bit. And that was,
I watched 11 and I watched 11
It
and
wasn't
I
it,
watched
bro. It
and
wasn't it.
I watched 14 while eating. 2
I got you. I
wonderful
watched 12
episodes.
and I watched 12 and 13. So
Yeah, so we've eaten the entirety
we've
of Orb.
experienced.
So I'm gonna run through a couple of things real quick just to explain how this finale is gonna work. We're gonna go through and there is no power ranking. I neglected to tell Austin that, so I loosely have an idea of kind of how he feels about these last couple of episodes, but I also
Always
don't know
have.
what was in Austin's mind when he power ranked, so I don't know what his actual end thoughts are going
Listen,
to
as
be
someone who's
fully.
watched him play Pokemon, there's not much up there to analyze. Like
Never is.
But
never has been.
so there is no power ranking for us to share. In place of it, I will be sharing stats in between while
Let's
the final votes are going on.
Numbers.
Predominantly
Numbers,
stats
numbers.
predominantly focused on placements in top 3 on power ranking, and also lowest place, and a little bit of some other fun things. But the real thing you need to know is how we're gonna do this final ranking for the shows this week. So when I send out this voting document, which I will do once we feel like we have finished our discussions on these shows fairly, we will each show has the option to vote 1, 2, or 3 on it. The show we think is best, we are going to rank 1. Don't worry, Austin. There are directions on the voting document.
This part isn't complicated. Vote 1 for the one he thinks in first place, 2nd for 2nd place, 3rd for 3rd place.
What's
This is one
complicated?
score.
It's
So
they
it
get
isn't
the
complicated.
inverse amount of
I think
points.
I'm not getting it like.
Yeah,
right
what's
away,
complicated is that the show you vote first will get 3 points. The show you vote 2 will get 2, which makes a lot of sense. And the show you vote 3 will get 1.
Why does it have to get one? No, I'm just kidding.
So the reason we actually had to do this was because this was the only way to properly make numbers make sense for 4 people. I have no idea how this will work for 5. I have not thought this part through. I don't know if this
We're gonna
is
find
going.
out.
I don't know if this is going to be better or worse or just not make a difference at all. Because I had considered other things.
So if it's 3, 2, 1, then there's total of.
A show could theoretically get a maximum of 15 points
Yes.
and a minimum of 5.
Yeah, there are
Uh,
30 points in the pool total. Every person gives 6 points out.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll find out the math if it matters later.
Yeah.
We've wheeled shows before. We will wheel them again.
We don't actually wheel on the finale. If it's a tie, it's a tie. You
I
have
thought we
to.
wheeled, I always thought we wheeled that one time.
No, I don't think we.
No, I'm pretty sure we wheeled with
I think
With
you guys did
JJK.
technically. Yeah, I think you guys did
Oh,
technically wheel
well-
We
during the
absolutely
Akutama
wheeled.
season.
Yeah, for what it was worth, we wheeled it because we wanted there to be. We wanted to figure out who was getting the tag in the Discord. It doesn't actually matter in that
Yeah,
regard
absolutely.
because if
Totally
you tie
matters.
for
Everything
first,
matters.
you've tied for first. Good job.
Don't let them trick you. Everything matters.
Yeah, it is possible to tie. Just double checked.
I mean, that's good.
I mean,
It-
it was possible to tie on the last one. Too.
Yeah, no, it was just that the numbers, doing anything else made it more, made it not as fair. The
Yeah.
3-2-1 breakdown was the fairest distribution of points that made sense to do. Because I fiddled with other numbers, and I didn't like how they looked.
Yeah, 1, 3, 5 gives a little bit too much to first places.
Half 1-2 also wasn't. Half 1-2, I think, gave too much power to second, I think was what it was. It was odd. There was 3-2-1 works really well, is what I boiled down to. I promise you there was good thought in that. With that in mind, we are about to spoil the entirety of Dandadan, most of Blue Box, and all 14 episodes that are out of Orb. If you have not watched these shows, I recommend you go watch them. Or perhaps
it's
maybe there's a show that I might tell you don't go watch right now. But we'll talk about it. We're gonna start when John unmutes.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So, again, I don't want to sit here and recap Dandadan, but do you want to run through any of the big points you think we want to talk about for these last 2 episodes of Dandadan, John?
Yeah, I think the biggest point is that Momo has competition, is what we learned.
Yeah.
Our bromance is live and well. We're 2 homie nerds who are just playing some footy together. You know what I'm saying? As someone who finished Blue Lock, it's soccer's in the brain. But no, I thought this was a really interesting. It's really interesting because like they get started with this new arc, right, about his family, and they're just starting to uncover some of the stuff, and then it leaves us at a point where it's like, okay, the next episode is gonna be really interesting in April when we get the next episode.
Is it
it
April? I thought it's
July?
July.
It's July.
Whatever. It's in like 2 seasons.
I
whatever
thought
it
it's-
is.
season
yeah.
break. Not a one season.
It's like in forever, like 3 years from now. But
Yep.
either way,
At least it's not actually that.
Trigun season 2.
What do you mean, Michael?
Sorry,
That's
sorry.
4 years away still. If
It
we're
was 4
lucky.
years away a year ago.
It
well, what to
doesn't
say is
get
though, I did like our new character dynamics. I like the new guy. I like obviously Okarune's still goated with the sauce, but I think it does like leave you a little bit like disappointed because you're like, hey, I was just getting really invested, and now we're stuck waiting on a big like a lot is happening in the show. Basically, there's a lot of like important plot points that we're just not going to get resolved here. I think that's hard to like. It makes it harder to rate the show.
I agree.
Because it's like on one hand you're like, man, these 12 episodes were like the first 10 episodes, the first like 3 main arcs, fantastic, awesome show. I love what it does. I love the characters. I love all the interactions they have. Momo and Okarune are just fucking such a great OTP for this show. They are just so perfect together. But on the other hand, what the fuck, man? Like, I want more. Like, we left it such a tough spot to leave off on.
And like the way
Um,
that they've built up this arc, it's like it's not the kind of like, yo, this shit's gonna bang and be done in the next episode. It's probably gonna take another like
This is gonna be like half the season. It
2
feels
or
like
3 at the very least. I don't remember like how long this arc was in the manga, which is why I'm being like very. This is not me being like, oh, I know, but I'm just like hinting at knowing otherwise. I just don't fucking remember. It should be like at least another like 2 or 3 episodes like after this.
It
into the new
definitely
season.
feels like it's
Yeah.
gonna be a bit.
Mhm.
What I think also stings a little bit about these last 2 episodes is that we spend a good amount of time with this mannequin subplot.
yeah,
Which-
which I came in, that was like a one little half episode. You thought that was gonna be the last. So that's the biggest thing. Is that was actually episode 11. Was the mannequin subplot?
It
and that was
also opens.
self-contained.
It does open 12 as well.
And you're like, okay, haha, funny little side arc to end the season on. That's fine.
And then they
Except-
do go
except
to
it
his house.
wasn't.
And then they do
But it
go to his
wasn't.
house, which is
Yeah.
I honestly thought we were gonna get a little more of just like meet Gigi, and we do for what it's worth.
Yeah, Gigi's
Uh,
great.
I'm not fully sold on him yet.
I love him.
um,
he's such a funny guy. He's a
He's
silly,
just a
funny
little
guy.
goober.
I like him a
He's
lot.
just a fucking dumb idiot, and we love our dumb idiots.
His personality around the rest of the around everybody who's not Momo and Okarune, I'm a little meh on.
Fair.
Which
Yeah,
I think
real.
is
He's a little
intentional.
extra. Yeah.
I feel almost exactly about him as I do Ira. Which is I actually really like Ira in the context of the main cast. And until I get like that thing that kind of the thing that's so odd about him to me is I don't know why he acts the way he does. I don't understand why he is himbo to the extreme around anybody who's
I
not.
think he's just a fucking weird dude, man. I'm gonna say it. I think he's just a fucking weird dude. I mean, look at these fucking family.
But you know what?
Like-
He's a perfectly regular fucking guy when he's
He's
around
super normal compared to some of these other fuckers.
when he's around Okarune and Momo, he's just a dude. He's just a fun dude who's kind of sporty
He's kind of nerdy.
and wants a new friend. Good for him, by the way.
hmm
These two. Yeah.
I'm glad that he's challenging Okarun too, where he's like, listen, you're gonna come out here and you're gonna say that you love Momo, so we can have a proper duel over this.
To the show's credit, I think we do see young Gigi when we get Momo's backstory about her relationship with her grandmother. Like I think the kid who bullies her is Gigi pretty clearly. I think from how they re-show what he looked like when they were younger. That was what I thought. Maybe I am wrong. I could be wrong, but they're I thought they looked very similar, at least, and that would make some sense given their dynamic. I do think for Momo's reaction to seeing him, she sure does buddy up to him kinda quick.
Yeah.
I think it's just her habits, though.
I will give her. I think she is just the type of person who doesn't care.
Her brain just turns off sometimes when she gets like her ADHD kicks in, and then the fucking like shiny object comes in her view, and she goes, "Ooh, shiny!" immediately. And that's just how Momo has been the entire show. I feel like.
Because like, didn't they say that like Gigi was the one that like first like said something? It's like, oh, it's like your grandma, like what your grandma does is like weird.
Yes, because
and then like and then she also came from a point of like, yeah, grandma stuff is bullshit. And then once it like once she started getting involved with the supernatural stuff, she's like, oh, I understand. Now she understands where she's coming from, and then Gigi apologized for it, for what he said.
I also think what's supposed to be the turning point is when she finds out why he's here. Because she thinks that's an actual pretty reasonable fucking reason to crash at someone's house, is that your family is hospitalized and you have been ousted by
Spooky ghosty spirits.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so like I don't think it's too bad. It's just it is a little jarring to like they vibe so quickly, especially once Okarun also happens to be present in the house. But I don't think any of it's bad. I for sure the most sore spot with this show for me is its ending for the season. Simply in that it is a stinger. It's two stingers actually. Do I really not like one of them? Yeah, I would rather we not stinger on Momo's side of the stinger is certainly not an enjoyable stinger to have.
No.
There is stinger involved.
Shouts to Okarun for looking at a house and going, wait a minute. I couldn't get to that part of the house when I was actually in the house. What the fuck?
Yeah.
World's most easiest thing to realize, you would hope. But
it's only obvious until it's obvious.
Yeah. I have no fucking clue what we're doing, though. They have, like, everything cooked for this new arc. It's like every townsfolk's weird.
It's got weird vibes all over the place. Like, everybody's sus as hell.
I can't believe Momo made Gigi go get her a drink and then left without it.
What I will say though is awesome is like you can tell she does favor Okarun over Gigi still, right? In that like romantic aspect, because she literally has him go get a drink and then says, "Okarun, come here and sit here next to me. We need to talk." And then also bails to go to the fucking hot spring. But honestly, would you expect anything less?
Well, because she wants them to be friends, which I think is, I think that's neat of her.
It's very cute. It's very wholesome. But
so here, go ahead, John.
I still love Dandadan. I'm trying my best to look at it holistically, right?
Yeah.
I think this show holistically is easily deserving, obviously, the top spots here that it's at, right? Like top 3 easily. There's no question on that. It's just a matter of question of like, does leaving on this point make enough of a difference? Because every other show is also good, right? Orb was really good this week. It had its own kind of stinger, I guess you could call it, because I mean it's still going, but so it's like it's hard to say, but like it's like that pseudo like end for us at least, where it's like, okay, I want more, but at least I know I can get more. Whereas this one is like, hey, we just don't have more coming, right? Which could be the studio's reasons, it could be production reasons. We don't really know exactly why, because we didn't make the fucking show. So I'm not gonna hold that against Dandadan by any means. I think what it did is really, really good, and I think I'm always just looking to see what it does next. And so for that, I really do like it doesn't bother me that it left on the stinger in that aspect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a guess here, and I have nothing to back this up.
We love
I
that.
honestly kind of think they did this to push the manga. Because I think if
Sure.
you watch this and you are on a platform where you can go read Dandadan,
You're gonna go do it.
You're gonna go read Dandadan, then wait till July.
Mm,
And like, I'm not saying Shonen Jump didn't do it, but Shonen Jump absolutely has a section on the app where it says pick up from Dandadan, and it starts
up where you left off.
and it starts you in the arc where they go to his house.
I was like, that already sounded.
So like, I don't want to say like holistically they were like, okay, we're gonna have it stop here, and then we're gonna take two seasons off, and then people will go read the manga, and then they'll go watch the anime.
And then we'll make
later.
the big bongo
But,
books,
like-
and then they'll come back and watch it.
Like I don't like, it's just it's not a bad idea. Realistically, it's probably that Science Sorrow needs time. They're not like a crazy huge studio to my knowledge. Like I don't think they're fucking massive.
They're not like Wit or Mappo to have like
Yeah.
18
No.
gazillion people.
And we've talked about, and they also, to my knowledge, I'm, knocking on some wood here. I don't think they super overwork their staff. I haven't really heard about large scale overwork in Science Saru. So like, I could just imagine they want time to cook this and have it be done with no issue. So that's my expectation. Yeah. As I agree with you. Obviously, Dandadan is still fucking incredible. This show probably more than our other two shows. If you were trying to give a show, if you were trying to decide what's the best show from like a direction and cinematography standpoint, it's probably Dandadan. The angles in this show are crazy. The shit they do is insane.
The characters are fucking batshit. Like,
Yeah, like there's a lot on a technical level here that is very impressive and very stellar and cool the whole way through. And it doesn't stop in these last two episodes by any means.
And to add to that too, like this is truly a show where it's like you can't really explain Dandadan to somebody, right? Like it's just like you have to just watch it and experience Dandadan for yourself to really understand like what this show is getting across and like what it's doing for like its
Yeah.
characters and for the plot itself, for everything involved. Like you just go and watch it, because anything we say about the show is not going to do justice to what it like actually does for itself, just by
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
and everything that it does is just masterfully done. And like you can talk about the show and people are just gonna look at you like you're crazy, because it doesn't seem like a
Yeah.
show that would be as good as it is.
Yeah.
Just based off of the plot and based off everything involved.
what I
Sorry,
will
go ahead.
say, that is, Dandadan with Blue Box and Orb is where this gets complicated, because for me, something that is really important when all three of our shows are fucking stellar, and all three of these shows are fucking stellar, is how easily I can recommend the show to other people when we've hit this point. And Dandadan was already a semi-tough sell in things. But largely, I had people watch this show from episode 1. You know, not difficult. I now find it more difficult to tell someone to go watch this right now, because I would rather say wait until season 2 is out in July. And that is unfortunate for it. Does that mean that should knock it down? No. Thankfully, there are some other things that I'm going to talk about with Orb and Blue Box that really solidify where Dandadan is with it. The ending did not do it any additional favors, for sure, for me.
Yes.
I think a cleaner ending,
I like stuff.
and maybe if it had like a more meaningful and like impactful scene towards its end curve, I think would have really helped it compete with the other two. Because like we'll talk about it. I don't know if Blue Box really has. Blue Box
I mean,
has
that's another
Box.
one that's just
We
going,
will
right?
talk
Like,
about it. Blue Box,
That's
I
another one's
think.
just gonna keep going.
Blue Box has exactly what it needs for what it is at the end of its last episode, and we will talk about that, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Orb ends a fucking arc. which really that really helps both of them. There are other reasons for me of why Dandadan is gonna sit where it is compared to the other two. And unfortunately, it's really nothing that Dandadan had done wrong. For me, the show's incredible. I like a lot of stuff about it. I'm very excited. I have not decided if I'm gonna go read it yet. Because I'm reading a lot. And I am gonna go read Blue Box.
I'm
So,
shocked. This hasn't
Yep.
had you started like 15 other things the past month.
Yeah, I probably will. Is what it. At some point, I'll probably go. Man, it's a slow week on my 47 manga that I'm reading. None of them. But also like, I'm not. I would be comfortable, I think, waiting for July and watching the next set because I will say I fucking really like how Science Saru does this. The show rules to watch. I'm actually maybe a little worried that I might not like reading it as much as I like watching it. But I also know that it's fucking almost point for point on Manga Panel, so who fucking knows? Mason, Austin, Michael. Large
Dandadan is-
thoughts about Dandadan.
Dandadan is a wonderful time. It's the exact right of batshit insane for me. However, like you said, the ending does not do it any favors, and we'll talk about Blue Box and Orb when we get to them. But like, it's very hard when all of our shows are like at the very least 9s.
Yeah, the very hard part about this rating too is all three of these shows aren't stopping at a perfect point, right? Like they're all stopping at a certain point, but there's no clear like this is the end of the season, da 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 da. You know, like sitcom ending where it's like sunshine and rainbows at the end.
It's like all three shows are like clearly built for two core, and they're just kind of doing it in a sort of different way. Where I mean, I guess like Blue Box and Orb are doing it in the same way, but they're just cutting it off at 12 versus 14, whereas like Science Saru's and Dandadan is doing your split core, except it's just slightly more split than usual core.
This has become a recent theme, I feel like, the 2 seasons off sequel.
Yeah.
Or something similar to it. I want to say this is what...
They live like at least a break.
I want to
season
say this is
between-
what Shangri-La did. I want to say
Yeah.
Shangri-La ran
Yeah, a lot of
25,
things
took
they've done
2
this, but-
seasons off, Shangri-La's crazy because it ran 25, took 2 seasons off, is running another 25. That's
Yes.
fucking insane. What are you? Who gave you the green light to do this? I'm not gonna say anything yet because I don't want to spoil some things. But if you have any doubts that what we're saying about these 3 shows being all incredibly good, there's gonna be some things later that are gonna back that statement. Do any of you 3 particularly want to talk about the Momo stuff from these last 2 episodes? Because I'm not gonna lie, that also partially plays a part in my kind of. What
So
the fuck are we doing?
the show really likes to put Momo in sexual assault situations, and I fucking hate it. Like it's done it twice now
For what it's
in
worth,
one season.
they also did put Okarun in one. We have to be fair a little bit.
real. It lets you put its characters.
Yeah, it likes to put
Yeah.
its which is by far probably the biggest hurdle for this show. But boy, this one is
Rough.
It's one of those set like the moment it starts, you're like, they're not doing this, are they? There's no way. There's no way they can let this setup like actually like happen at all.
Hmm.
And then it does.
modern day mangaka would be crazy with it. Austin, Michael, do you guys have additional things you want to say about Dandadan?
I mean, I probably should because I didn't really say much.
I mean, Michael, these are your boys at Science Saru.
Yeah. I mean, the show, on a technical, the show looks fucking fantastic. sub and dub. I mean, I said didn't really watch the show sub, but I haven't heard any problems about the
The
sub.
sub's great.
Yeah.
I watched the whole
Yeah.
thing subbed. Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I watched
like
the
it a
whole thing
lot.
dubbed. This whole
I
thing's
watched the whole
phenomenal.
thing dub. Dub is fantastic.
Yeah, every single character fucking kills their roles in this. No, one of my favorite parts of this episode, I think 12. Whatever they're, I don't know if they're on a train or they're standing there. They start jumping around Momo singing an anime opening or something. I don't know what the
Yes.
fuck two of them were doing. Dude, but that's not translated in the dub. They're just yapping. They are saying shit in Japanese the whole time. Yeah, this show is phenomenal. I love this cast. I think they do a really good job with them. I think a lot of the bits that they have between the characters that are like recurring bits work really well.
God,
Because like in episode like 12, Momo faints when
Yeah.
Ken says the thing that he does when he's in the when Okra says the thing he does when he's in the granny form.
I'm sorry, I am an awkward fellow after all.
I'm an awkward fella. She goes, no, stop.
She
It's-
fucking gets wind blown back in the. I love it.
Yes.
It- I'll never get tired of that bit.
him and Gigi's thing. I know I'm talking a lot about these last two episodes. That's what I watched most recently. That's what I remember. Him and Gigi when he's like trying to impress Momo, talking about occult shit, and it's just him and Gigi start talking, and Momo kind of gets tossed to the wayside. I was like, oh, that's peak. AO3 writers are on the way. It's.
I mean,
Yeah,
standouts.
I'm not sure exactly what the whole thing with the
Yeah.
two dummies or whatever.
Yeah, the mannequins.
Yeah, the mannequin. That was biology lab things.
I imagine
Yeah.
they're gonna be important for the rest of the
Yeah,
rest of the
yeah.
show to some degree.
Yeah, somehow.
I
Yeah.
imagine we're not just gonna. I mean, it's oddly a nice character arc for Momo.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's,
it's-
it's your
it's
way
also
to
a big thing
introduce
for,
Gigi.
Okarin.
It's your way to introduce Gigi to their powers without like going insane more than you
I'm
already
also-
did.
I feel like there's the untold thing we still have where he gets hit by the car and is still just like we see him get like we know he can recombine after breaking apart, but like they seemed a little bit past that with how they showed it.
Yeah, there's something with these.
Yeah.
Also, obviously this is going to be the main crux of the arc. We do know Gigi's currently being tormented by Slenderman, essentially.
His sleep
Gigi
paralysis demon.
seeing the Hat Man.
Sleep paralysis demon. Poor Gigi.
Yeah.
He's
Watching-
just standing
watching
there.
John pop off right there.
Yeah. No,
Sorry,
yeah,
what was
There
that?
you go.
Sounds good.
So like, I know for me, this show's peak probably was either a mixture of it's been its fight scenes probably for sure because I think both the Turbo Granny fight and the acrobatic Silky fight and like the stuff you get with the Mantis Shrimp and Nessie are all fucking phenomenal looking. Like highest high for me I think is the acrobatic Silky stuff because I think they really fucking nail exactly what they're doing with that.
Mhm.
Which like that is your middle gearing up towards the end of this. I think it's dead middle. A
It's middle, yeah.
really good place to have your peak. It's not bad. For sure for me. Do you have any other
Yeah.
thoughts we want to throw out?
I think Dandadan is. I was very pleasantly surprised with the show because it's just one of those things that you just like I said, even like when you guys described the general idea, it's truly something you just don't understand until you experience it and you go, okay, I get it. Like it's
Yeah.
one of those shows.
Especially like for you, John. It's like this is not typically the kind of show that you pick first rotation.
No, and and we'll get to that at the end. But do I regret not picking Blue Box? Probably because it is like one of the best rom coms we've had on the podcast, and we'll talk about it in a minute here. But I'm not gonna say I regret picking Dandadan. This show is also great.
You know what,
Shall we-
let's do something fun real quick. We'll play a little game, and actually no,
Shoulder
we
hurt.
won't do it yet. We'll hold on because it will spoil something if I do it this way. So we won't. We'll hold. We'll wait. We'll just wait to do all the stats at once. With that in mind, Austin, we go to you for the first of two. Let's talk about Blue Box.
So the very TLDR synopsis of of episodes 11 and 12 is there's a fireworks festival coming up.
I love that.
Hina tries to invite Hina wants to invite Taiki, just to go one-on-one, but Taiki thinks that they're going as a group, so he asks, "Hey, who else is coming?" And Hina's like, I forgot to invite people." Tries to invite people, only gets Kyo. Kyo feigns being sick to let Hina and
The
Taiki
goat.
have some alone time,
Oh.
and Hina and Taiki go to the festival together. Taiki leaves her to get to
Go to the
or
bathroom.
something. Yeah, go to the bathroom or something. He meets up with Chinatsu,
We can
and
certainly
Find a lost
Uh,
child.
find a lost
Not really.
child, and then
Go on a side quest,
yeah, the whole shebang. And after the Chinatsu having seen, importantly, Chinatsu having seen Taiki and Hina walking together at the festival previously. And after practice, Chinatsu sees Taiki sleeping and kind of like asks him the question of like, "Why did you lie to me that you guys were going as a group? That looks like a date. Are you guys dating?" But she's just kind of like more hurt than that. Not yet, not in a yandere way. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Are,
um,
are you dating? If you're
you
not,
dating?
that answer will the answer you give will change your dynamic entirely, she says to a sleeping boy.
and this, we've just gone over like why, our gripes with like the Don ending structure for this format, and this one sets it up much more nicely, where you're setting up the scene for Hina, like, stamping her way into the competition. I mean, she's already making moves, and one of the things that we don't really get to see too much of in the first like 8 episodes or so is Chinatsu's point of view, her thoughts on this.
Arnold.
And this is the first this is like the most that we see about like what her thoughts are and what her feelings are toward Taiki in the entire show. And it's a very important drop.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your general thoughts, or do we want to do? We could mimic the way we just kind of did.
Dude, we get to meet Karen in this
Okay,
last episode.
Yes,
Can I-
Karen's the best. I love her
This
so
is
much.
this is perhaps.
Okay.
There's a lot of good stuff about Blue Box. This scene, dude, is so fucking good. I cannot tell you how wonderful of a structure of a scene this is to have Taiki beat Karen, to have her go, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Taiki," and she goes, "You're a Taiki," and he goes, "What has Haru been saying about me?" And they didn't even need
yeah.
to pan to Chinatsu, because 100% there it clicks. You go, "Oh, she just introduced her as my best friend Karen." Oh, this scene, I fucking lost it here, dude. This was phenomenal. Exactly what you need to do.
Dude, I love when she's
Yes.
just like, why don't they just date already? And then he just goes, that's not what she's focused on right now. And she's like, and what's your point? They're
Well-
living together. Like,
And-
they both like each other. Who fucking cares?
And
Like-
And she looks at Haru and goes, and she basically looks at Haru and says, "You're not allowed to go soft towards badminton. You have to keep giving it your all." And he goes, "And I will keep giving it
I will do my
all
best
to-
on both."
On both.
Yeah.
Which, man, if you
The
had
exact
to
correct
yep,
answer.
if you had to have a scene to describe where you eventually want the plot of this show to go, right there.
Yep.
Perfect. There's so much in these 2 episodes, even, because you get the
I-
training camp with Haru, and I can't think of his name right now, but he's
Kyoto.
he reminds me. We made the comparison when we met him. He reminds me a lot of what happens when Hinata gets to meet Ushiwaka after season 3 of Haikyuu, where he does his training arc around him, and he's kind of just like a guy. He's just kind of a cool dude who like he just kind of rocks. This and the scene with Taiki where he looks at him and when he asks him, and he's like, "You know right now who's gonna make who's gonna make it to Inter High next year?" And Taiki goes, "Yeah." And then Taiki goes, "But that makes it all the more easier to know how I have to win. That scene fucking rules. That kicks ass.
God, every character in the show is so goddamn well written.
And there you go, right? That's
God.
all you have to say for me about this show.
Speaking of rom-coms where you don't care who wins because every character is so fucking good, and you're like, can we just get the polygamy ending and call it a day? Can we just all just, you know...
Live in one big
You
sports
get the
house.
strong feeling that somebody's going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
You got Kyo, who's just coming in as like the go-to wingmate, who's just like, bro, why didn't she just ask you specifically? She's so stupid. He's like, now I gotta fucking not go to the festival I want to go to cover for these dumbasses and give Hina a shot.
Yo, bless this show for not making Kyo's crush Hina right now, at least right now, because we've introduced another character to be that, who's crushing on Hina, and it's nice to not have the best friend character crush on the. It's nice to not just square off your fucking love rectangle, your fucking love polygon. Thank God.
But
perhaps this show will go in the
That's
base.
rom-com.
Perhaps this show will go in the base direction, and Kyo will be in love with Taiki. Let's go.
let's go.
I can only wish.
This is the episode where they have the scene in the gymnasium, right? Was these episodes?
Probably. You have
Where
to be a
Taiki's
little.
Is this the one where Taiki's taking a nap upstairs,
Yes.
or is that?
Yes.
Yes.
That is where 12 ends.
Yeah, that's
Man, it gives us a lot of insight into Chi's thinking, right? And I love that, where it's like she feels like he's not being honest with her, but she just doesn't understand the full picture, right?
This is
Because they're both idiots.
Yeah. This is the closest I would say the show ever gets to fabricating a conflict. Which like a lot of romances like to do, but this is the most real fabricated fucking problem I've ever seen, and that this is actually just a real problem, right?
Mhm.
Like she's actively sitting in a house with him, and he says, "I'm going as a group," and then watches what is essentially just a date because literally the only other person in the group bailed, and she has no way to know that. That's a real misunderstanding. That fucking rules. This is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna try to say about Blue Box. I'm gonna let other people talk. What really sells Blue Box for me is that this might just be, at least right now in these 12 episodes, the most flawlessly written romance I've ever fucking seen. This is perfect. They've done everything right and nothing wrong. I have no gripes about, like, the structure of this relationship dynamic, the conflicts and struggles that have come. Like, it's just perfect. This is exactly what I want out of this, while also being a bomb-ass sports show. How did they do it? I don't know.
The show's just good. Like, it's really pretty. It's well written. I get to
OST.
enjoy. God, the OST in this show is so fucking good, dude. I still think our other show that we haven't talked about yet still beats it out because holy fuck. But
It's so close, dude. It's
It's
so
close.
close.
It really depends on like the moment and what track is playing and like how I'm feeling at that exact moment. Because like they both have their things that just But yeah, Blue Box already one of my if not my favorite manga running in Shonen Jump. Up there with One Piece and Akane Banashi. You guys should read Akane Banashi. That thing's great. It'll if it gets adapted fucking ever.
It is supposed
It
to,
was
right?
so hard not to read this fucking manga this week, so I was like, I should wait till podcast is done. and I
Yes,
don't
yes,
work
you
more
should.
days.
Yes,
And
you
so
should.
I guess I'll wait until we talk about it, even though I know where I'm gonna put stuff anyways. But God, it's so
they absolutely killed it with this adaptation. I think everything is done so well.
it's so
It looks
pretty.
so fucking good.
Dude, whenever the opening comes in and you just see like the fucking like exhale in the cold air, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah,
It's so good. Okay, the one thing I will say,
this opening. My
there's
goodness.
one thing I don't like about it, and that is her shooting a basketball. Because
yeah,
that is
looks
the
a little
ugliest form
weird.
I've ever seen in my life. Just the like, it's like you handed someone a basketball who's never seen it in their life. You're like, put that ball in that hoop from here, and they go, like, it's like that's the only dance I'm like, animated shoot. Like, look up how the form.
Not
you know,
every show can
Caitlin
be-
Clark popped off this year. You have no excuse for not knowing how to have a woman shooting a basketball. That's all I'm gonna say.
Not
Like-
every mangaka can be the Haikyuu author, dude, where he gets where they get the sound of shoes squeaking.
I don't
right.
care. I don't care about this is not the manga author's fault. This is the studio. But like,
It can be a bit
Caitlin
of
That-
both.
that's the
Clark was
only-
less relevant in
the only negative I
2021,
have about
Talk
this show
Black.
is her shooting a basketball, because I'm like, that is not how a basketball shot looks. But that's okay because the rest of it is so fucking amazing that I'm willing to forgive it. But I'm watching you, Blue Box. Learn how to shoot a basketball next season, please.
They're gonna have to, because I imagine we're gonna largely get Shinatsu games with National.
I want to see her fucking drop that bitch from whatever school it was. It was like a crossover. Hit her with like the AI step over move, man.
Fucking
Give me
ankle
that.
breaker.
Break the ankles, step over them on the ground, and then like walk back on defense. Ooh.
Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with Michael. Just I loved Blue Box, and I've been like reading it since
She's been trying to get me to read it for like
Chapter 1.
years.
I've been following it. I've been following it since it dropped, and there's a very good reason why it's just I look forward to reading it every week, and I've not been happier. I could not be happier with this adaptation. Just the way that they've animated characters, the way that they've paced it, and not absolutely blitzed through it like certain other shows. And I can't wait to just finish out the rest of the core. Well, I guess the upcoming second core of the show. That is.
Man, Shonen Jump adaptations have been eating real fucking good on pacing
Mhm.
correctly. I don't know what Mission Family looks like. That's like the one we didn't check out.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know how Undead Unluck ended up.
but you kind of you didn't keep watching, right? So you don't actually
No, I
know.
did not. I have quite literally
But,
no
like-
idea where it ended or how it got through it.
But like Chainsaw Man was fucking stellar. JJK's been really pretty good. I mean, I didn't actually watch Shibuya to know how. I imagine it fucking killed
It
the
was
adaptation.
It was really solid.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking this Dandadan. My brain's fucking blank. We had Elusive Samurai, as someone who's read the manga, really fucking on point. And I've even talked about how I think that adaptation adds to that show, to that manga. Like they've been fucking eating real good lately on not being rushed adaptations of, and I think it's because you are a Shonen Jump manga.
You get a little bit extra
You're-
hoop.
You're a Shonen Jump manga whose chapter count is above 120. you get
Yeah.
a little bit of leeway.
A little bit extra little money in the coffers, you know.
I've been trying to think of like what is my like big blue box moment of like, wow, you fucking what incredible. The whole show's just been so fucking good. I can't necessarily pinpoint a moment where I'm like, yeah, that was the best.
Sean,
it
you know what this
was.
show is? The show is like how we felt about the first like 8 episodes of Horimiya.
Thi-
It's just like you can't pinpoint one point. It's just all so well done.
This show,
How
I
much?
imagine, would be I'd feel the exact same way about this as I felt about Tomo-chan's adaptation if I had read Blue Box first. I would have been very satisfied. I would have thoroughly loved it and felt very happy that it got the treatment it did and really fucking enjoyed it the whole way through. Because they fucking nailed it with Tomo-chan when they did that too.
God, it's just so good, man. Give more, please. Thank you.
I'm going to go read this like as basically as soon as podcast is over. So
That's
Right.
real. That isn't. Do you want to start from the beginning, or do you want me to give you a chapter to start at?
if you can give me a chapter to start at.
Yeah, I'll try to find it.
Alright.
But
Appreciate you.
while I'm doing that, we should move on to the new. We got another show to talk about.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
is the
Fucking
show.
Orb.
It is the
It's
show
that,
we have to talk most about.
I'll give the same TLDR, but we're also encapsulating 4 episodes, so there's definitely going to be stuff that I missed. Episode 11 is primarily focused on Nowak and some other Inquisitors.
Do we ever get
they-
these two's names?
Um,
I like to go Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I think we get them at the end of last episode, like episode 10, but I'm not sure.
Well, maybe we did get them at the very end.
But basically, Noak's just teaching them how to torture people, and they do so by torturing a woman who is blindfolded and tied to a chair with her hands behind her back, and crushing her thumbs with a thumb screw. I believe it's crushing, right? That's what
Yeah.
it was? Okay, yeah. One of them is like a little bit less stabby, so he forces the other one to so basically just like says I don't want to do it, and so the other Inquisitor has to do double duty and force her into talking, in which she just talks about going to some herbs and sells out her neighbor, etc. Um, and then Yolenta, Oxy, and Bedeni meet in a tavern to
To shoot the
to-
shit.
to just shoot the shit, to talk about their future plans. After which they get interrupted by Noak, who's revealing to Bedeni and Oxy that he is Yolenta's father, and he gives like very odd vibes to say, and I mean Oxy recognizes him, and is like shitting his pants the entire half episode that this is taking place in, and they get up, they talk about Yolenta's work, they get up to go and leave, and then Oxy just like spills the beans to Bedeni. He's like, he's an Inquisitor. We're so fucked. I don't know what to do, and then just because they left like 3 minutes ago. Noak comes back and says, "Hey, I'm curious about the astronomy work that you said that you were doing. Let me go see. Let me see your work that you do." And then that's where episode 11 ends off. Episode 12, they go back to the little shack that they're doing the research in, and Noak's just looking through it, sees a bunch of like the cover work that Bedeni has, which is like astrology, like projecting like this disasters based on Mars's movements with the sun and stuff. Um, and then Noak sees the necklace that Rafal had, and Bedeni actually talk about like how fast they need to accelerate the plans and what to do next when Oxy sees that Noak's returning with more Inquisitors, and he's like, "Oh shit. Hurry, you get out of here. I'll hold them off." Oxy holds them off, kills like four Inquisitors. Or
Kills
three of
three
them, and then one of them
Inquisitors.
goes-
He kills them. He tries not to.
That's
then
true
one of them
too.
trips and falls on his own sword.
It injures
Not
3.
kidding.
That literally,
We
literally,
full-on
not
had just-
not figurative, literally.
Yeah, we just got that one scene from another with this dude.
It was really funny though.
A lot fewer stairs involved in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
this
and
dude
then,
just fell.
and then Oxy eventually gets captured and questioned, and that's where episode 13 picks up, where Noak is just basically is like, "Why the fuck are you doing this?" Questions him for a good like 10 minutes before revealing that Bedeni was also caught. Starts to torture the shit out of Oxy to try to get Bedeni to reveal the information that the basis of his research, basically Rafal's previous notes and stuff, and he uses the pair on Oxy, which we see very gruesomely, and right before Noak's about to just like gouge out Oxy's eyes, but then he gives up Rafal's location, or the location of Rafal's notes, tells Bedeni about Noak tells Bedeni about Rafal, and then episode 14 picks up with them basically the first half of the episode is them getting hanged. the episode ends with the revelation that they are going to try Yolenta for heresy for being involved with Oxy and Bedeni, and there's also just another guy that's just out for Nowak and trying to get Yolenta killed
Status.
because he's kind of salty that Nowak gets like some treatment from the bishop.
Well, they don't.
Who's
they don't
his
want Nowak
dad?
killed,
He's
they
the
just want-
bishop's son.
They just want
Yeah.
Nowak to like be like ostracized because he's too buddy with the bishop. Basically, he's like, hey, he's too close to the bishop, and I want to be close to the bishop. So fuck that guy. We're gonna frame his. If his daughter gets convicted, then he'll lose cred because it's his daughter, which means the bishop will lose cred because the bishop trusts him, and therefore I can be made the bishop and get more power, and then work with you guys, basically.
And so the Tweedledee and Tweedledum from episode 11 start to torture Yolenta by like ripping out her teeth, and one of the guys just says, "I can't do this," and sets her free on a horse, and that is where episode 14 ends. Quick TLDR.
Critically, he's the one that sees like
Yeah.
this other clergyman talking to a bunch of other probably like invested individuals who have certain kinds of wealth and or power, and so then he goes, hey, this is wrong. Like Nowak, while he is objectively like a quote unquote bad person, he has good intentions, right? He's just trying to do by the means of the church, and everyone's just out for their own means, so I should act on my own means and my own belief. And so we'll see what ends up happening to him. He's probably gonna die. Poor kid's gonna get fucking
Yeah.
murdered.
Almost assuredly. I want to talk about a particular scene for me. That was, in my opinion, fucking incredible, and the highlight of these 4 episodes that we watched, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, 4.
I'm
Uh,
curious if it's the same one.
I think it's episode 14, where it does it. It might have been 13. I think it's 14 though. Episode 14, they have the conversation about cutting out Oxy's eyes,
Yep.
and but then he goes, okay, here's where it is. And it starts to zoom in on Oxy's eyes, and it transitions to the opening of the fucking show, and it's so fucking perfect. I have to assume it was intentional, because I don't think you open the show visually with characters' eyes and cut from one eye to the other. But, oh, so perfect. We talked earlier, before we got into this, that not watching episode 13 and 14, but stopping at like 12, I thought you largely gained one thing from it. I think largely you gain insight into Bedeni.
Mhm.
Episodes
The shift
13 and
into Bedeni
14,
is incredibly well done.
yes, I don't think it's surprising. I
No.
think they telegraph it really well. I think as you are building up in the last couple of episodes, it is very clear he is not as ruthless and as just in it for himself as he wants to seem. Which makes it all the better when you get to the end. I will say I think the most surprising thing is that he doesn't actually get rid of Rafal's research. Because I
Yeah.
think that is the thing that there is the least amount of reason for
That
him
was
to have
so
actually
surprising.
done. I honestly thought he was going to take them there and there was going to be nothing. He was going to be like, I wasn't lying to you. I just didn't want you to gouge my friend's eyes out.
Yeah.
Um,
And try to like fight him off the cliff or something, you know?
well, I just assumed they would go take them back and kill them both. But because I thought the ploy was buy Oxy one last night to look at the stars before they kill him, as opposed to just, I actually can full out save you because I will sacrifice the research. Which is where it got me. It really did get me.
Yeah, that's definitely like the biggest like noble, not old but anything that
Yeah.
Bedeni did, but also like not selling out Yolenta like completely. Like
Yeah.
we said that, oh yeah,
Mhm.
if Yolenta starts to get sussy, we'll just say that we were deceived by a witch.
I also
Well,
don't think it
again-
would work. You are staring down.
Also, her
like-
dad is the one that's interrogating you. So, but
Yeah.
I do think it's like he could have very easily thrown his daughter under the bus and been like, "Well, get her in here, string her ass up too. Fuck it, we're all going down with the ship." Which honestly, she would definitely die because of the fact that she's a woman, right? And so like, that's why it's like it's very not the Bedeni we know to do all these things, but it's also exactly what we would expect of him, who's someone who truly cares about this research, right? And especially we noticed a change the second he read
Oxy's journal.
Oxy's journal and his
Hmm.
book, right? Because he's the only one that's ever read his book because his book got burned by Bedeni.
Except it didn't.
Well,
To some capacity, he probably made a copy of most of it. Is what I imagine he did.
possibly,
Yeah.
but likely he's the only one that has read or may ever read his book, right? And that's like the moment where he goes, "Okay, let's do this." And we don't know what he did with that beggar either. he
Yeah,
talked
which
to.
I imagine it ties into
Yeah.
this. This seems like the
Um,
thread that they've left for the
so-
out for how to continue the research.
And so like it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing from here. I would say I loved the progression here, and it's like one of those things where it's like it's hard to watch, right? Because it's like
Mhm.
it's stuff that is just it's physically painful to watch this character that is like the good guy, the guy you like to root for, and this guy who's just trying to live life and find peace in like living, just get so brutally tortured. Like all the things that we learned early on in the show that could be done were done, and you're just like, that is as bad, if not worse, than I imagined. And I knew it was gonna be bad. So
You guys pointed it out earlier in the show. I think Austin and Mason did in particular about when we met. I'm not gonna remember his fucking name now. The guy who teaches Rafal.
Oh, Potoki?
Yeah. That
Or
no.
Hubert.
Hubert. You guys mentioned it when we met him that you could tell from his mouth that they used it on him.
Yep.
Much more apparent with Ozzy.
Yeah.
When we cut back to them in the cell, and it's just that like if you didn't piece it together earlier and it didn't stick with you, you would realize that the mouths are the same by then, and you'd be like, oh fuck. Because it was a reminder for me because you guys had said it and I remembered you said it, but it had left my brain. Very logical through line of how they get caught. If I had to give the show a gripe, it is by far the fact that for people who are so worried about getting caught, they fucking open their mouths not literally a minute after Nowak turns a
Yeah.
corner. It is
Yeah, that's crazy.
perhaps the more insane one is that Nowak looks through the house, leaves. He literally has just closed the door, and Oxy falls to the floor and goes, "Thank God he didn't find us out."
Right.
I think there was like a little like there's like an implied like waiting
It's
period.
been a little
right?
bit, but I think it's really funny of just like the idea of Nowak just
Yeah.
opens the door and goes, "Gotcha, fucker."
Just
Yeah,
like,
no,
he
you
comes
might
up from like a
stop.
secret exit and goes, "Hi."
I mean, I fully expected Novak to just walk down and like turn to the side and be standing right there. And he
There's a
walked
bunch
in,
of
"Hey,
fucking holes
fuckers."
in this house. Like,
But the idea is he doesn't have to, because he already knows.
yeah.
He knew from the second he saw Oxy what was going on.
I think he knew from the second he heard
Especially
them
once he
talk
got
about
that
anything. But
it's,
yeah,
it's literally like that fucking video of where it's the cosplayers that are cosplaying Persona 5 and you have the Ryuji cosplayer come up and go, "Hey, is this the meeting for the Phantom Thieves?"
I think it is. Boy, does it say something that 10 years later is the timeline they set up. 10 years later since Rafal. Nowak still can't fucking get this kid out of his head. This kid is living rent fucking free and is just ruining this man's life. And probably will forever ruin his life. Because the dynamic with his daughter is going to be immensely
Holy
complicated.
shit.
I got incredibly scared in the conversation between him and Oxy, where he's like, "You have shown me that I have been a little too loose with some things," and I'm like, "Uh oh. The man has a daughter. Uh I am really glad that it seems like largely outside of losing a tooth or two, she might get out of this at least for now. Okay. I man, the balls you have to have, by the way, to potentially try to get Nowak's daughter murdered under your custody. If I was these two trainees, I would be like, sir, respectfully, you gotta get somebody else. It's not that I refuse to do
It's
the
not
job.
that we think it's wrong. It's just he might kill us.
I'm worried
Yeah.
he's gonna kill me in the name of God and the devil. Both of them.
I'm worried he'll find something against us next.
I think episode 12 would even have been a good stopping point, because I think ending on Oxy going, I'm gonna buy you time, is fucking incredible for that character.
Yeah.
Because just the perfect man is this man. Just your average guy who wants to go to school, who's learned how to read and write, who's got damn good eyes. Truly a real shonen. He's got special eyes. And
I hate that so much.
they really hammer home how good this man's eyes. I mean, that you could argue that's the central premise of the second half. 2/3 of this part of the show is that Otzi's eyes are so fucking incredible and so important. It actually almost raises like a split in my brain where I'm like, I think the show wants you to think that Bedeni is doing it because he knows what it's like to lose his vision and his eye. But I almost think that he does it because he values how good of, like, he would not have been able to do that work without Oxy's eyes.
I think
like-
it's also just like he realizes how terrible it is, and also like you're saying, it's just
Yes.
like how much those eyes mean to everything they've done.
Yeah, like I think
keep
there
them
really
intact.
is a level of like, if you take that man's vision away, you've taken away the thing that has let him become who he is, right?
But there's also again like there's different levels to like
Yeah.
interpreting the way he says it, because it also goes why would you? It goes because it would hurt as the
Yes.
screen focuses in on Bedeni's face. You know,
Yeah.
who had his eye burned in
I-
the flashback we saw 14 seconds ago.
There's also the idea that like it's like an idea that it's almost like Bedeni kind of what was I gonna say? It's hard to put into words, kind of like what it feels like Bedeni might be thinking, because it's hard to like conceptualize it. It's just like it's what might have brought him value in his journal as something that he might have written, similar to like saying that, you know, my eyes have given me this opportunity to become somebody, right?
I mean, what does it say that Bedeni was willing to let this man's jaw get removed, but
But the second he
drew
threatened the eye,
the
it's just the
line
final
as soon as
straw.
he was like, I'm gonna stab his eyes out.
I'm gonna take his eyes. I'm gonna do it.
Ugh. And we are
God, it's
and we are
so
not
beautiful.
we have not even dived into any of the theoretical conversation that any of these characters have about any of this plot, because it's all fucking incredible. It is all really good.
Mhm.
But Denny and Oxy's conversation about why they do what they do is so good.
I just found out that Oxy is like, Polish for eyes.
Fucking
Of course it is.
fucking
course it
Ioto
is.
over here.
I was like searching it
I-
up. I was like searching it up so I could pull up Orb on my fucking second monitor. It's like I see.
I see what you did there.
We might as
That's
we
so
might
funny.
we might as well have
Ha,
fucking
ha,
we might as well have
ha, ha.
fucking given this man heterochromia at this point.
Give him like the circle pupils, you know?
I mean, I don't. It's funny. This probably. I hope this got brought up. Something I just forgot. The way they do the eyes in this show.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
it's not the
Yeah.
way they do it in the manga.
I don't know.
They're-
I
they're-
don't know
they-
this fact.
I've looked up manga panels, and the manga panels always have it zoomed far enough out that they just look like specifically looking at pictures of Oxy, even on like volume covers. The one that he's on, because every volume cover has like a different set of characters. The fact that it is the sun, the Earth orbiting the sun, is so fucking cool. Like that's the eye design. Oh my! Like the way the opening does it, how it constantly shifts like the just line art, so it's very clearly that visual.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like oh my goodness, the show.
Peak. The show's great.
There's
Show's
a,
incredible.
there's a lot to talk about with this. Obviously, you know, I had the position earlier where I wasn't the biggest fan of the transition from episode 3 to the new cast. It was not. It was, to me, it was. You need it. Let me be clear. You can't not have done it the way this show did it. It was very important for it. I was just not sold until things really started coming together like they did when we started to get towards like episode 6 and 7. And it certainly did push its way back and win me over, largely on that journey.
What's interesting is that looking ahead, we're gonna get another one of those.
Yeah.
We're going to a new cast, baby.
Yeah, because there are a couple visuals in the opening that we have not gotten. So clearly. And we're definitely gonna.
You have the bloody bag of money. You have.
There's a guy I don't think
and
we
you-
fucking
yeah,
know.
we
you
still-
have the guy in white with like the green scarf.
Yeah, there's like a guy. There's just a regular guy too, who I
Yeah.
don't think we've gotten to meet yet. Who's in the opening? Who has like
Mhm.
brown, more like
brown
brown
hair,
yeah.
but looks kind of like Novak.
a much
or
shaggy
Nowak.
beard.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I think it's episode 13. We get the fucking with Oxy dreaming.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
did not expect
In the
that
tower?
section of the opening
Yeah.
to be a fucking Oxy.
Yeah.
Right?
Never gonna fucking convince
Also,
me.
what?
He's just chilling out talking to God, dude.
Yeah, just casually.
You could read it that way, or it could be something fucking entirely different. They
See,
can do whatever they
how
want.
I interpreted it, it was everyone doing this research before them. Is how I saw it as. Like, this is like the legacy carried on by those who dared to challenge God, basically. Right.
I thought
Yeah,
since
it's like,
they
if we keep stacking this up, we'll eventually reach the
I
heavens.
was
Yeah.
hoping he'd see her fall, but that's too much to ask. Sports
Football.
ball.
Let's
Sports
go!
ball. I don't know which
Football.
sports, but sports
Okay.
ball.
Bonus orb. Bonus
I will
bonus
talk
ball
about
on
it
the
while,
show.
while we are voting. I will talk about why this is important. But let's focus on Orb.
No,
It's
you don't.
good.
You don't have
Orb's
to
good.
do that.
No, it's okay.
I have
I'll
other
explain it.
things for us to talk about
Oh,
while
I don't
we're
care
voting,
about
John.
you, Sean. Listen,
Damn.
This is
Holy
why.
shit, John.
This is why your show is not gonna win tonight, John.
that's okay. I don't need my show to win.
Damn.
Either way, I'm happy.
Do we want to talk at all? I mean, firstly, other things we want to talk about with Orb.
Where do you guys think like it goes from here? Because obviously, like
New
the biggest
character.
issue, the biggest issue it runs into, right, is obviously it's gonna follow her trying to find someone else.
Or it's gonna
It's the
just,
general idea.
or it's gonna follow the thread from where Oxy sent the notes.
And so,
Or you have those two threads, and they eventually
Yeah,
come together
probably.
and braid to become a stronger thing because braiding rope.
I
Something,
also,
something.
I
Visual
shut the
metaphor.
fuck- Fish.
You gotta say it. Visual
Fish.
metaphor.
With the new cast, what are they going to do differently from the last two major arcs? think that's,
so
like,
here's the thing:
biggest
is first of all, she can't be the one to really bring forward this research, right? She can't, because inherently, it's just gonna be a knee jerk. You're a woman. You're possessed by the devil. No way this is real. String her up.
I think it'll
Like,
be a while before we see her. I don't think it's going
And
to.
so I don't think it's gonna focus on her either. I think it's gonna focus on something else first.
Because I also think we're going to see a large focus of the church itself.
And maybe it's gonna follow Nowak.
I have
Honestly,
I have kind of a thought. I'm not sure. I think he is going to be a character who we are going. I honestly think Nowak will be one of the characters that makes it to the end of this story because I think it's important that he makes it to the end to see what happens after all
And
these
it's
other
almost like
people
his
die.
I think
story.
he's going to be our through line through every arc.
Yeah. I think it almost feels like. So here's my thought. I don't think Bedeni killed that person who stole his research. And I would not be surprised if that
if
is
that's
where
the
he
person
has
it
sent
goes to.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he said he said it's such a low chance, but he also implied that the mail would go through the church if he were to send that letter, which makes me think it's still someone he's familiar with in the church who would even maybe give him the time of day, which would have to be someone who's equally interested. We have a couple of odd things that get thrown up. The bishop's really into astronomy.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Surely that won't be important.
But there's I think it makes sense that we're going to be played much closer to the church. Probably at least maybe not right away, but very soon into the lead up to the arc. Because it just seems like we're set up for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about before we move on from, or in my mind where I'm like, I want to touch on this. I mean, we've only gotten it like 2 or 3 times. The action in this show's fucking incredible,
Yes.
dude. What the fuck?
It's so good.
Oxy
The
kills
show has
those
no
3
right being
guys.
this awesome.
Oxy kills 3 men and it looks clean as fuck the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to personally fight anyone in the My Unreleased comment section saying this was a bad visual adaptation. But maybe this doesn't look as good as the manga. Why have I not heard about this manga before now, huh? Why are you hiding it from me?
Right.
America, explain.
It's like this entire thing visually has been fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very interested to see whether or not this will finish out. Is the manga done? Do we know?
I have no idea. I don't think so, but
It seems like there's 8 volumes out of it. That's all I was able to find. Also didn't look very hard. That was me trying to look up volume covers.
Mal is not particularly the best source for this information because sometimes it does not tell you the truth. But let me see quick what it says about. It says it's finished at 8 volumes,
oh,
so it might actually get to the end.
Actually, it says that volume 8 of the English translation was released last month.
Yeah, so I mean that's probably why this this got picked up. It's because it finished and was done. Oh,
7 Cs.
is it that time?
I think it's that time where I explain why this game is really important.
Okay, so just based off of the volume covers, we're halfway.
which would mean we're about halfway. So here's the good thing. Shout out to the fact, by the way, that all of our shows in top 3 have something to do with something that is circular. Good on them.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Do we want to talk a little bit about? Do we want to just wait to give responses, or do we want to try to give a good feeling about? I guess we could do it after. We'll talk after if we want to explain why we vote the way we do. But while you guys figured that out, it's time for the part of the podcast that I enjoy most. It's time for stats. Ladies and gentlemen, it's stats time. Hold on. Let me
Real quick, just to be clear, this rating is for
1 is first place, 2 is second place, 3 is
but
third
like
place.
overall over the course of
Yes.
the season.
Yes,
not-
this
Yeah.
is the
Yes.
entire
Yeah.
season cumulative. This is the
Yeah.
end of the season, so we're rating the shows as a whole.
Just wanted to be 100% sure on that.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna do something that's that's crazy to do. I'm gonna let John talk about sports for a second because I have to go move my nephew.
Let's
Into-
go.
I have to go move my sleeping nephew into a different room. This will be fun. So,
So
John,
for those that don't know why
go
I'm
ahead.
popping the fuck off during the podcast, I'm mute 95% of the time. The Lions are currently playing the Vikings. Both teams are 14-2. If you don't know how insane that is, the last time the final week decided a 1 seed, regardless of teams playing each other, just in general, was 1993. This is the first time since like 1930s that it's been division teams playing for first place in the last week of the season. On top of that, Lions are playing basically without a defense because of injuries. Vikings basically don't have any and are losing 24-9 currently. It's pretty great. Can't wait to see them complain about flags on the internet after this. But so far, the Lions have thrown 2 interceptions to 0 from Sam Darnold, and their defense has stopped them every single time in the red zone, all 4 times, including 2 turnover on downs. inside of the 10. The Vikings have not scored a touchdown in the red zone this entire game on 4 drives and kicked 2 field goals of 50 plus, 1 that hit, 1 that missed. All their offense has been field goals. Their top 2 receivers are held to 4 receptions so far and under like 60 yards. It's insane. The downside is Terry Arnold got hurt and it looked bad, and so he probably shattered his leg and is done for the year. Because of course he did. But yeah.
Something good can never happen to the Lions.
So fun fact though, the Lions, this would be the first time in their franchise history they're the 1 seed in the playoffs. They get to the bye in the first round, and it means home field advantage against things like the Eagles, who they'll probably see in the championship game, and the Vikings or the Packers or whoever else they play in the divisional round. Because in football, seeding is dynamic. So if the 6 seed upsets the 2 seed, you play the 6 seed with the 1 seed. Or I guess it'd be 7 seed.
The better way to say that is that like
If the weaker team wins, they'll
for,
play the
like-
strongest team regardless.
yeah.
But yeah, this game's really important for the Lions, and it's cool to see them actually play defense for once in the week. And that's a sack. Goodbye, Sam Darnold.
Practice squad DB playing since week 7.
Did you guys by chance hear my sister
true.
scream?
No.
Oh, good. I was worried that picked up. I may or may not have terrified her by moving her child next to her in her bed while she was sleeping. But we are okay. It is stats time. So we're gonna play a fun little game. So all of these shows had opportunities throughout the season. There were 7 weeks technically of top 3s. So total amount of time a show could be in a top 3 placement was 35 times. A show could have been in top 3. With that in mind, let's sorry, I'm just making sure I get this right. How many shows do we think had a first place finish?
6.
6.
What if I told you no?
Knife?
7
You
or
said
4.
4.
4.
Can you get the 4 shows with a first place finish?
Done number one sword.
Plus negative.
Yeah.
Correct,
negative
yeah, that's
positive.
it. There you go, you got the last one.
Neggy Posy once.
I did.
How many shows had a second place finish?
6.
How was this to
7?
also be 4?
It's 4.
It's still 4. Okay.
I had negative positive at second one time, and that put that
Yeah.
there.
And then how many shows had a third place finish?
Is this
5.
5?
More.
No,
But it's also
6.
More.
it's
7.
Yes.
it's a
Yeah, I was
lot.
like,
Actually.
So
That's
let's
crazy.
let's
More.
let's play Blue Box, Don, Orb.
Negative positive. Do over damsel.
All
No.
Guys Mixer.
Yakuza?
All Guys
Mixer.
Mixer. It's All Guys Mixer, Yakuza, and Mecha Ude.
Yakuza, Mecha Ude, not All Guys Mixer.
You know, like all guys, I don't think ever broke it. All guys never
Um,
broke a top 3. Just kind of
Did
sat.
Damsel make top 3? Well, it's
Please don't
some
nonsense
nonsense
here,
here,
bro.
The
It
problem
wasn't Hagakura.
the problem with this is I'm the one who put it in top 3,
Sean, did you
Oh,
put Sumo Show at top 3 like week 1?
Yeah.
not week 1.
Oh.
I put it in
Oh,
top
yeah,
3
no,
the week
week-
it was
week one,
really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, week 2. I had it at number 4. That's why I was like, wait a second. I think we did actually put Sumo Show really high one time.
So
And it
let's
died the week after.
Yep.
so if we want to do this breakdown, so you figured it out. I put Sumo Show into top 3. I had one other show that I put into top 3 that was not. Well, actually, no. Let's. Yeah, we could do. Yeah, because you could theoretically work the math out, but we don't need to worry about it. I had one other show that I put into top 3. Do you know what my other show was besides Sumo Show?
Makude?
No,
No, I did that.
no, you didn't.
Negative positive?
It was Angler for me.
It was- yeah.
John, you had you had 2 occurrences in top 3 that were not or top 3. Do you know what it was?
In top 3. Yakuza for sure.
Uh-huh.
Um.
It's Yakuza again. You did it twice.
Okay. Well,
Oh.
that's. Listen.
Michael,
I have no
you had-
influences. My opinions are my
Michael-
own.
Really looking at my thing, I know it was negative positive twice.
yes. Austin, you had 2 things that were in top 3.
Yakuza and Mecha Ude.
Yeah. Mason, you had 4 occurrences that were not or top 3. Do you know what they
Yeah, I
were?
fucked around. So negative positive,
4 times. It was negative
yeah.
positive 4 times, Mason.
Yeah, I like that show.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
good.
Based.
So now it's time to
Why
do.
the fuck am I the one defending the fishing show?
Yeah, so those numbers were 1 top 3 for Sumo Show, 1 top 3 for Mecha Udes, 3 top 3s for Yakuza, 7 top 3s for Negative Positive Angular. How many times did Orb make it into top 3? You have a guess?
I
Out
don't
of
know,
30,
I don't- is
out of
that-
out of 35.
19?
So trying to think of how many times it wouldn't have been, and who
I'd
would have.
Yeah.
What would it have not? Would have? Yeah.
Sean, can you
Trying to
repeat
think.
the
Sean didn't put it in top 3 once, I want to say.
I don't. It never left my top 3.
Just out of
It
30,
didn't leave mine.
out of 35. Broad
would
number. Everybody
say
just give me one
26.
guess.
22.
26, 22. John, how many times do you think Orb was in top 3?
30.
Michael?
It's
So we had 24, 26, 30 as our current guesses. Or is
Actually,
20
I'm going.
There's
Actually, we had
22,
7 shows. We had
26, 30.
7. We had 7 different
Perfect.
shows in top 3, so it's -1 at least. So it's at least like at most it's 31. And so I think it's actually like
I'm going to go like 28, actually.
22.
28. You're going down to 22, John?
I'm going low. Yeah.
Austin, yours was 24?
No, mine was 22.
22 as
What
well.
do you
Michael,
remember,
what's
John?
your number?
It's now Mason's 28.
Yeah.
I'll split the difference and we'll put it at 25.
Okay, I'm not gonna tell you yet. How many times do you think Donadon was in top 3? Give me your number guess.
32. 32.
20.
33.
Mm,
No, wait, 31. 31. I'm gonna go say.
You think 31?
29.
29? Michael?
I'm gonna go same 25.
How many times do you think Blue Box was in top 3?
35.
33.
35. I hope.
Or no,
I wish.
35. No,
It's actually
It's gonna be like
33.
34.
Wait,
So I think there'll be like one
Yeah,
guy.
it's
someone
probably
didn't put it up.
34. I think somebody. I remember. I think I remember someone putting it in. No, maybe 33. Listen, I'm gonna say 33.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the breakdowns, and you're gonna figure out the numbers from here. Orb had 8 first place finishes. It had 9 second place finishes. It had
17.
the most third place finishes with 12 for a total of 29
29.
of
That's
35.
close.
Actually,
That
it's up to
is
30.
that is an 82% finish rate in top 3. Donadon had 10 first place finishes, had 10 second place finishes, had 10 third place finishes for 30 total appearances, which you may be able to do the math. That's an 85% top 3 finish rate. It had it did not have the highest count of any first, second, or third place finish. That might tell you that Blue Box had the highest amount of first and second place finishes. Blue Box had 16 first place finishes, 13 second place finishes, 5 third place finishes for a total of 34.
It was 1 week. Someone.
Mason.
That means that it is a 97% rate in top 3. That is almost our highest percentage point. It is still unfortunately beaten out by Licorice Recoil and Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, which had 100% top 3 finishes, because that season was silly.
It was really funny.
That's also because we missed like a couple of weeks on that season. I think we missed like 2
Also-
or 3.
That season had like 4 good shows and 8 not so good shows.
Yeah, that shows
From what I remember.
total finish placements was out of 28 appearances.
Yeah.
Because we missed a couple of weeks.
That would have
Uh,
been just 7 weeks. We did the same
Yeah,
amount of
that's
weeks as
7
this time. There
Yes,
was an extra
but-
person this
Yes.
time. And we also had 1 less show this time.
So just some general statistics. Hagakure and Grieving Soul both had the lowest place finishes on the podcast at 11th. They both were at some point at the very bottom. Sumo Show and Yakuza Fiance both had their lowest places at 10. Negative Positive Angler and Mecha Ude both had their lowest places at 9. Do-Over Damsel had its lowest place at 8th. All Guys Mixer's lowest place was at 7th. With that in mind, where do you think the lowest place Orb placed was?
5.
Or
Yeah, like Sean, I think you put it like 5 one time.
I put it at 6. I put it at 6. I had it at the lowest it ever
Oh.
got, but I was not the only person to put it kind of low at times. It had a couple of times, obviously, where it dipped out. What was the lowest place Blue Box ever wound up at?
3.
Mason put it at like 6th once, didn't he?
You're close. He put it at 5.
I put it at
on-
5.
on
we knew
week
one
one,
time it
On
popped out.
week 1. What was Donadon's lowest placement? Here's a hint. Michael and Mason, you guys put it there a lot.
4.
You're
Yeah,
correct.
like it was 4th for me. That was the thing I would always bump out of top 3.
Yes.
Yep.
For the
Yeah.
2 times I put negative positive in top.
Yep.
So
exactly.
The last time, by the way, that a top 3 had this high of a finish rate was winter 2023, in which the top 3 finishes looked like 97, 83, 77. That was Trigun, Tomo, and Buddy Daddies. We have not
That was a good
had.
season.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago. Fuck.
That's crazy. Is that wasn't like a bad season for? Okay, Sugar Grabber Fairy Tale was like the only other show that was like really good that season.
Yeah,
I
because
heard existed.
even the other seasons has always
Sorry.
been even the other seasons, the third place show has always been a little iffy. So like, Bocchi the Rock and Chainsaw Man both had over 80% on their top 3 finishes. Witch from Mercury had a 69. Nice.
Nice.
Licorice Recoil and Yakuza had 100% finish rates. Call of the Night was only there half the time. And then perhaps the only season that accurately is as close, if not just as close as this one. There's no way that percentage number is right. Hold on,
How to do?
I might have been wrong. How
Oh my
the
god,
fuck?
Sean can't do math, guys. Time out.
Sean can't type math into his
So
Excel
anyways, the
spreadsheet,
Lions just
huh?
scored a touchdown.
wow,
The Lions are up by a bajillion now. It is now 31-9. Eat shit, Minnesota.
Sorry, I was just looking at it, and I'm looking at the season with ranking of Kings, and it said that Senpai had a 26 out of 32 finish, and it said its percentage rate was a 93. That's not how math works. So yeah,
No.
there's not really
No.
been a season
No.
outside of the There's not really been a season outside of the Trigun season where the percentage was this high. And even then, Buddy Daddies was a 77. So like, to have all 3 shows be an 80 or above is insane. Like wild. Because the next closest is definitely Ranking of Kings Blue Period Senpai, which was
Yeah.
96, 78, 81.
That season was crazy also.
Now. And now I have to do my well, I guess the thing I should say is this obvious from look? Yes, it's obvious from looking at it. I don't think I have to actually. I'll calculate it for the sake of it. Actually, gonna jot these numbers down real quick. So then, our final results are Danadon is in 3rd place with a total of 6 points.
When it
Orb is in 2nd place with a total of 10. And Blue Box is in 3rd place with 14. I'm sorry,
You mean first?
first place. I flopped it in the head. I did the funny. Blue Box is in 1st place with 14 points, just missing out on that 1 point for a full sweep. Who could have seen it? I mean, it was close. It is a tight season. Who wants to talk about who especially put Orb in 3rd and wants to talk about it?
Who what?
Someone put Orb in 3rd.
I like Donadon better.
That's fair. I think
I
it's
thought-
fair.
I have no
That's all it
comments on
comes
that.
down to. Donadon Pog. I don't
Like,
know, man.
I legitimately, I think that those two were probably about the same level for me, and obviously the only reason why I put a certain one of them higher than the other is because one of them is my show.
Fair.
But like they're legitimately like right there. in how much I enjoyed them.
I thought Orb was my favorite show of the season personally, but I understand everyone's
No,
thoughts.
that's totally fair.
I went into this episode going, I'm gonna go Orb 1, Blue Box 2, Dandadan 3. I got to voting and I was like, fuck, can I really not put Blue Box at 1? It was just one of I did the thing. I don't know if it may have picked up on camera. The bit where you flip a coin and as it's in the air, you know you actually wanted to win.
Yep.
Mhm.
It was one of those things like I assigned the two. I was like, yeah, no, I just want Blue Box to win. Like, I love Blue Box.
I mean, I think
it's so good.
I think I made my thoughts pretty apparent going into it. I'm not gonna lie. I watched Donadon's last 2 episodes first, and before I watched Orb and Blue Box, I went, wow, they have to be really bad to not be my 3rd place show.
Yeah.
And it simply really is. All 3 of these shows went into their final set of episodes being incredible, and one of them I felt like had an ending that was not very satisfying. Because I'm not gonna kid you. I got to the end of Donut and I went, really, we're stopping here?
I will
I was
agree.
like,
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
I agree with that with the ending, and the only reason why it's above Orb for me is because if we had 2 more episodes of Dawn to Dawn like we do of Orb,
I think that
it's a different
you know
that's
what?
story.
fair.
I think that's
if
fair.
we stopped on 12 on Orb, I think you could still argue it's better. 'Cause I think 12 is a fine stopping point. However, I do think like the alternative can also be true where if you have 2 more episodes of Dawn to Dawn, holy shit, this arc seems like it's gonna be insane.
Yeah. I could see that.
And so
Yeah,
I
I
have
wouldn't
nothing.
have changed it from 3rd place for me, but like,
Yeah.
I will
I,
like.
mean, I don't know what
Donadon.
happened,
but
right?
like, I'm
And so-
saying that is an argument we can make.
And I
Michael
think
also doesn't know.
holistically, Don Don kept it at like an 11 the entire time, and I like that about it.
Yeah, all
The
of these
difference is
shows.
Blue Box is like a 75 out of 10.
I think
so...
I think all of these shows for me are probably 9s. I don't think.
Mhm.
What?
Like I'm not someone who's going to. Do I think any of these shows are 10s? Probably not. Probably not yet. Not yet is what I'll say. Blue Box probably has the highest chance of being a 10 out of 10 show out of these for me. I think Orb just has a couple of small things that hold it back. Like a couple of things that you have to really be comfortable with, and like I'm just gonna ignore that and we're gonna keep going. Because it's stuff that makes the scenery really cool. It's stuff that works really well. Danadon is really tricky, just because like we've talked about, there are a lot of things in Danadon that I'm not a fan of. But Danadon is so bad shit insane that it makes those things work really well in the structure of the story it's telling. You just have to be comfortable with it, and okay with the fact that you have signed up for that. I just think Blue Box is honestly one of the best romance I've engaged with. It is really tough for me to think of something that I think has been this solid. Tomo for me is there, but Tomo's very like skewed into its own section of the genre. Like it's very much kind of like it's a tomboy show. Like that also is like it's a 4-koma manga. Like it has a lot of things about it that really puts it in its own box that separates it from a lot of other stuff in the romance genre. Blue Box might just be one of the cleanest flat romances, like with or without adding the sports or not, which I think fucking makes it even cooler. I thought this was rad. Fucking stellar season. Because I'll be honest, I like stuff that even went off the podcast still. I still inherently I still plan to finish like 3 or 4 of these shows.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go finish Angler. I'm gonna finish Mixer, I think. That's the one where it's like, if I get to it, I get to it.
As someone who has finished Mixer, it's still solid. Like, it's still a good time. It's not any, like, it doesn't do anything, but it's fun. It's enjoyable.
I plan to finish. This might surprise you. I plan to go finish Do Over Damsel.
I want to do that as
I'm-
well. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really in on that show. And I'm gonna go watch all of Grieving Souls at some point. I'm just gonna consume that slop. Especially since it's gonna have a season 2. That's the
Wild.
fantasy slop that gets a second season. That's my jam. I'm consuming one of those right now. Do I have it on pause? Yeah, it's not its fault. Maybe it is. It's not its fault. I'll get back to you, Spirit Chronicles, I promise. Now that your season's done. Is that all I'm gonna go back to finish? I'm trying to think. Yeah, because I'm probably not gonna go finish Yakuza Fiance. I'm not that interested in it personally myself. I have no intention of going to Sumba Show. Maybe when they release the end of Hagakure, I'll go watch it. Who knows what kind of mood I'm in? I might get funky. You never know. I really wanna. I might just go find the manga for Mecha Ude. That might just be what I go do. I might just
Do it.
go see if that manga's good if I can find it. I think I have to wait a little bit because I think its English translation's coming.
Yeah.
But what else was here that I'm forgetting? Anything else? Was that all 11? Damsel grieving.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that was everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Austin, congrats on your win. I have to go do the thing
Second
now.
player to ever win in their first season of the podcast. Congratulations, Austin. Great job.
Congratulations,
Who does
Austin.
cheat
You're
By
the
reading more manga than all of us combined, but that's okay.
Austin.
No,
Congratulations,
I
you're the
think,
new
I think
me.
Sean's hitting that point where he's probably like. surpassing
He's
Yeah, but like,
if you count
Austin-
visual
Austin
novels and
read-
light
Austin
novels.
reads more in general because he reads other stuff. Yeah.
I read shit.
You think I don't? I want you to know, by the way, there is stuff I read that I don't tell you guys I read. Because I read rough translations of pure garbage that I just don't talk about.
Hey, remember the manga that I brought up when John was having his kidney stone?
Yeah, I know. I also there was I think we talked about this briefly when I said there's a lot of we looked at a show for this coming season, which we're gonna get to in a minute. And I said yeah, it was when we were watching openings for this past season. And I was just going through all the openings for fall, and I said, "Oh, this is one of those shows where everybody in a classroom gets transported into a fantasy world." I've read a couple of those. Yeah, some of those you
so
shouldn't
have I.
read. Some of those you shouldn't read. They're not. I have a much higher tolerance for what I will read than what I will watch. A manga can get away with doing a lot of terrible things, and I will still read it. Whereas an anime, I will not watch certain things happen. That's just how that is.
You say that, but I've completed at least one season of Ari Ferreta, so.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but it's like
You're like, it's equivalent.
it's equivalents. I'm pretty sure it's more than one. I'm pretty sure it's 2 core.
With that in mind, I'm gonna do the honorary stop stream start stream, so we have a little bit of downtime. But thank you all for tuning us. We will be live in like maybe 2 minutes.
Give me a
if not.
solid 5.
Oh, you're
Give me
gonna
a
give you
solid
5? What, you
minutes.
want-
Give me
you
like
need-
5.
you
Game's
got-
almost over,
Oh,
and I can like
okay.
look through the
Finish.
quick list.
Right.
And be good to go.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
last
good-
thing we want is for John to be more distracted while we pick shows.
Oh, did I fucking left the. I
You
fucking
left the
thing.
group. I don't know how.
Well, Austin, it's been a pleasure. See you next time we invite you to the podcast. Get the fuck out of
100%
here.
Win rate and I'm out, boys. Fuck. No, I was
Austin's
closing
like,
out-
I'm leaving undefeated.
Wait, hold on.
I was closing out the like you know how Discord like sometimes just adds you to like server auto adds you to servers.